Hey there, deep and complex water signs, welcome. Let's jump in, see what the universe wants you to know. So I'm going to do 3 rows, past, present, future, but they all cross over. Time is relative, hey? Okay, Queen of Cups, we've got quite a bit of water, wow. More cups, more water, and I'm just going to pull some oracle cards to ground each column. If you don't know what cards I use, it'll be in the description below. This is the Sacred Forest Oracle cards. They're really quite beautiful. Retreat. So you've been in a kind of winter phase of your psyche and life. See all of the above. Passage. So some movement there. And focus. Okay. So the Queen of Cups is your first card here. She's a ultra feminine card, and I don't mean gender, but more about being in the feeling realm and valuing what she finds there, valuing her feelings. So I think there's been a bit of a retreat into your own feelings, and hopefully you've been finding more peace with what you sense there and discover there. Looking at this, I think you've had to. It's almost like the universe has been forcing you to be in yourself and to try and love what you find there, okay? You weren't quite ready before to venture forward. The Two of Wands here, so we've got this figure who's kind of looking out at the world and feeling like he's got the world in his hands but hasn't left the fortress yet. So there's a sense of being in your own world, being in your own fortress, excuse the helicopter, and looking out and maybe feeling quite disconnected, I think, as well. That really goes with this winter vibe. I'll show you that card too. So that's got a globe with a house in it, so it is very much being in a bubble, yeah, and being in that retreat. But you've needed to be there. You've needed to find yourself and start to cultivate some deeper energy rather than just kind of running around like a headless chook. Might still be doing that as an avoidance to this. That's okay, as long as you're not kind of burning the candle at both ends. The King of Cups, so similar to the Queen of Cups, you've got 2 divine counterparts here. Whether or not that's finding the masculine and the feminine in you, or maybe there is actually some supportive energy coming in, some supportive male energy coming in, or someone who at least can help you solve the problems that you've been trying to solve, or reconcile the maybe the splits or fractures inside of you that you've been trying to resolve. He is the healer, counselor. So maybe you've sought help from a therapist or a close friend even, or an uncle. So yeah, that shows there's now you're ready to put these new feelings into action. So this card's a bit more about looking outward, but don't jump too quickly from your inner world to your outer world. I get a sense here that you still need to stay connected to your feelings when you venture into this new passage that's coming up, or this new chapter. If you don't, it will, you'll have to go through that kind of yo-yo again of going back into a retreat. So maybe the lesson here is to stay connected and step outward, but stay connected. So you've got this passage card here. yeah, it's just showing pathways opening up for you. Yeah, and you've been sorely needing it. You've been waiting and waiting for it. The King of Wands underneath it shows this is a time to be bold. Fortune favors the bold. Might have been in 300, the movie, I'm not sure, or it's an older saying, but I love it. And it's kind of that sense of life will meet you halfway, but you need to meet it halfway. You can't expect it to come in and just kind of do all the work. Yeah. So let yourself access the fire in you, access that bold, enthusiastic part of you. Enthusiasm is great fuel for change. Sometimes you need to fake it till you make it a bit with enthusiasm, especially if you've been in a real winter stage. So music can help. That just kind of came through then. If you're wanting to work on something, do something, even just clean the house to kind of give you a sense of change, crank the music, you know, any little thing like that that just helps a process get going. So this is the center card here, which is the heart of the reading. It's a beautiful card. It's the 9 of discs, which is really a card of sensuality and abundance. So I think that's what you're really looking for right now, is to feel that abundance, that material, sensual abundance and pleasure. Yeah, it's a beautiful card. It's got grapes in it, which typically symbolizes like there's difficulty in making wine, for example, but the payoff is a really luscious artisan thing. So it's going to take discipline to work towards this. Yeah, so I got to say with that. Underneath that is the 6 of Cups. So this card's about sometimes when we experience waves of nostalgia, I was going to say nausea, but nostalgia and warmth and healing and feeling just really connected to life. You know, there's little kids in it, so it's got that kind of childlike ability for us to get back into our inner child, essentially, and to feel a sense of wonder again, and to let the seriousness dissolve and let the play come through a bit more. That's what I'm feeling for that. That's going to help you bring in this abundance that you're looking for right now. You need to start feeling it now. Being around maybe pets or kids can help. Really let that sense of play, and it's almost like, like just getting in the moment, you know, and playing. It's a beautiful card to have there. What you're going to be moving into the future, so we've got Wizard of the Woods here, which is a card of focus. So you're going to have to hone in on, you know, your next chapter. And it's really great to have this card underneath it, this 6 of Swords. This card's all about moving through troubled waters and finding a solution, or things just becoming clear again, or things just locking into place and finding a sense of harmony or natural rhythm. I remember reading once, this card's all about not being too concerned with how things look, but just organizing your life and then being in the right place at the right time. Being in the right place at the right time, can't really control that. That's just kind of chance. But if you have your life organized, you will then be ready to create the change or take the opportunity when it arises or presents itself. So I'm getting a feeling of really getting things into focus and creating a sense of efficiency or simplicity in your life, so that when your opportunities come up, you can just go and just dart into it, rather than needing to kind of trawl your way through stuff that hasn't been resolved yet or sorted out. Yeah, so there's the 8 of Wands coming off that, which shows a really swift energy. There's going to be a speeding up at some point. You're probably craving it from being in the winter part. But yeah, I'm just getting that sense, like organize things, get ready, prepare for success, prepare for change. prepare to feel energized again. Yeah? And coming off that, we've got the Page of Pentacles. This card's very much about a new project or a new something that's going to get you fired up and enthusiastic. And it's also a card of giving birth to something new. So that can mean literally or symbolically, or giving birth to a new version of yourself. Yeah, so shedding some skin. Wonderful card to have at the end. It's a very productive card and abundant card. Awesome. So I'm going to do some clarity cards just to sharpen up the picture. Yeah, so bridging the Queen of Cups, which is where we started, which is you accessing your feelings and valuing them. We've got the Death card, which is, it was quite a process. It was quite, this being in retreat in the winter, you might have already moved out of that. You might have already been feeling that kind of shift or the relief or the transformation. But it's deep work, so well done. Well done for hanging around and continuing to wake up each day and trying your best. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling with that. It hasn't been easy. Next clarity card, High Priestess. So in terms of figuring out how to access this abundance and sensuality and pleasure, the High Priestess is all about trusting your knowing. So you probably already know what you want. I think that there's some hesitancy there, or a sense of not deserving it. And we have those protective mechanisms there because they usually protect us from disappointment, or we've actually been traumatized in the past by things not working out the way we wanted. So then this self-doubt or abundance blocks kind of come in, and they beat us to the punch. They beat the world to the punch, and they keep us in a state of playing it small. So I'm really feeling like trust your knowing that you do deserve all the riches and beauty that come with this energy. Listen to your dreams, write them down, look for things in places, signs in places that are quite subtle. That's the sort of message of the High Priestess. Trust your intuition as well in interpreting that. Next one. Beautiful. So from the King of Cups to the Six of Cups, we've got Success here, which is the Six of Discs. Awesome card. It just shows a sort of balance and harmony arising. So accessing that inner child energy, which is the Six of Cups, and putting your feelings into action from the King of Cups will bring you success. So it's a lot about your feelings at the moment. There isn't a lot of like psychological stuff to work on. It's more about maybe making room inside of yourself to be in yourself and love what you find there, and play with that, and play with your enthusiasm and creativity and joy. Yeah, let the joy percolate back up. Next clarifying card. So we've got Swiftness again, so the Eight of Swords, which you've just got down here in the last row. So things are going to move quick when they do. And yeah, be ready, organize your life. It's the thing about this life, it can feel like nothing's changing, things are so stark and dreary, but really the only constant is change. Yeah, we're all changing constantly, all our atoms and molecules, and so is life. Everything's temporal and form is always changing. So it's just the mind that says things are stuck, and the emotions sometimes when we get stagnant, but even they're shifting and transforming, which I think you've already started to notice. So yeah, get ready for a bit more lightness. Next card. The Devil. So in terms of the Devil's a card of self-imposed restriction. So it kind of goes off on what I was talking about with deserving something, that sense of knowing what you want but also shrinking away from it. In this card, the traditional card, there's figures that are chained up but they have access to the key themselves, so it's a self-imposed thing. And the devil is not the enemy, it's just something that's unconscious. So you know, really maybe do some deep thinking around what might be there as a protective mechanism blocking you from this abundance and this surge of enthusiasm again. Enthusiasm's come up a lot in this reading, in my language. Last one. Choices. So the Seven of Cups, typically it's a guy standing there with all of these choices. In this Thoth deck, looks quite poisonous in a way. It's like this dripping, it's called debauch. It can be, there's almost too many potential pathways, and it's sitting over this page, so you might need to just pick something that has activates the most enthusiasm, is that word again, and really go for it. It's sometimes the mind like just obscures things because it doesn't want to change that rigid part of ourselves, and so it creates all these like multiple things that can happen, and then that just creates like fatigue or confusion or self-doubt or indecision. So I think the guidance of this card is to really pick something, and to help with that, use your feelings. So coming back to the Queen of Cups in the beginning, what gives you the most energy, excitement, enthusiasm, and go for that. Whether it's a new job, project, collaboration with someone. I'm trying to think if it's a new relationship. It could be as well. I mean, the Pentacles is anything in terms of potential. So yeah, take a stab. Wonderful reading. You're going from winter, movement, and then into a space of focus. So yeah, I hope that was useful for you. If you've got a strong element, either earth, fire, or air in your chart, some people's charts are quite saturated with other elements, then go watch that video as well if you want to, just to get a bit more insight. Thank you so much for joining me, really appreciate it.